Hi people, welcome to my channel. I am Jemie and this is a space where we discuss everything personal development, personal growth. So if you want to be a better version of yourself, you are in the right place. And today I have a special guest for you. She's someone amazing and I'm so excited just to know today's conversation is a conversation that you don't want to miss. Definitely, you are welcome.
Thank you.
You tell our viewers your name and whatever it is that you want them to know about you.
Okay, my name is Daphne Kuburu. I am a director at Lash Treats. I'm a baker by profession. I am also a content creator. I create inspirational content around self-improvement, growth mindset. I'm a mother of one, and I am really happy to be here.
Thank you, Daphne, for being here. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. You are my first guest. So I'm so excited to see you and I'm looking forward to today's conversation. Daphne is a content creator. She does amazing stuff. I'm going to put her social media handles. Please follow her. Don't miss out on the morning motivations that she does every day. But before we even start the conversation, just tell me what's been on your mind lately.
Well, lately, I've been in a position of feeling very grateful for where I am. I'm trying my best to be in the present moment and just acknowledge and accept what God is doing in my life. Of course, it's mixed up with the unrest of what's going on in the nation, like the landslide that happened in Chitezi. It's so unfortunate. But at the same time, we have to juggle being grateful for where we are while we try to be there for those that are in a lower place or in a place that is unfortunate. So just the balance of gratitude and also being there for other people and wanting to make a change. That's what's on my mind right now. Yeah.
Thank you, Daph. For me, what I've been thinking about lately, I have a child that is in that inquisitive age, 3 to about 5, that ask endless questions. And sometimes they can ask you something and there's a temptation to give an answer that's not correct because you cannot give the right answer. I don't know how parents out there are managing answering those inquisitive questions. Anything you say is, what is this? What is that? But I try, it reminded me of how much of a child's development is formed at this point. Because there are things that I have said and they take them as gospel truth. So I realized, okay, whatever question I'm asked, I'm going to answer it as honestly as possible. Of course, in a manner that you can understand it. But wow, that's very interesting. There are some things I'm going to mention, and I want you to tell me what comes into your mind. And one of them is everyone has a weakness. Many times because people say everyone has a weakness, which is true. We have weaknesses. No one is perfect, but there's always a thin line between when is this a weakness that I should be accommodative of, that I should understand, that I should tolerate, and when is it crossing the boundary and it's not becoming toxic, it's becoming bad manners, it's becoming something that you have to say, no, I know you're not perfect, but this is crossing the line. So when someone says everyone has a weakness, what really comes into your mind?
Well, what comes to my mind is the fact that, like you said, as humans, we are created with flaws, right? So there are parts of us that we were put. I always believe that a flaw is a challenge from God, something that God gives you to work on, because it would be so boring if we lived life and there was nothing we had to work on, right? So I believe that our weaknesses are things that God puts within our character that through growth gives us character development. And then on the flip side of what you're saying about toxicity, I think those are character traits that we pick up along the way that we do not check, and that we are aware of the negative impact they have on other people, but we are choosing to keep them within. We're choosing not to do anything about them. That's how I see the difference.
And I like the fact that you say that, because many times, I can give an example. Let's say someone is short-tempered. So we know, okay, you're easily triggered, you're short-tempered, but then when people annoy you, how are you behaving? Are you abusive? Are you fighting everybody because you're annoyed, and we should understand that you're short-tempered. We know that is a weakness, but really, how do you handle yourself when it comes to how you're interacting with other people, and especially where your weakness is triggered, and then you find that you have to behave in a way that honestly is not toxic. You're still able to contain yourself and behave. Maybe walk away. Sometimes you have to walk away or do something that's going to calm you down. So, and what I've noticed is that sometimes people put up with that behavior. Because we know, okay, I know my friend has a short temper, or it's even your partner has a short temper, and whatever abuse that they're going to take you through, you want to understand because it's a weakness. No one is perfect, and you find you're stuck in probably friendships or relationships or even workspaces that are not healthy for you. I think there has to be a point where you're like, no, this is not just a personal weakness that I have to endure or to understand, but now this is toxic behavior that I need to put a stop on. And it's important that people really understand when is somebody crossing the line and when is this not healthy for me anymore, and then you're able to do something about it.
I completely agree with you. I completely believe that in as much as we need to give people grace for their weaknesses, because we all do have them, when it comes to people having toxic traits, that's in the point of people deciding that they're going to keep doing something that is harming us. I think it is very important then that we don't just say that this is a character flaw, and we decide that where you have stopped, where are your manners, because now we all understand how there is a code of conduct as people, as human beings. So if you are telling me that you cannot go about your short temper in a way that is going to help other people to help you, because there is a way that you can communicate that, listen, I have a short temper, so around this topic maybe let's use such words. Then there is someone who just does not want to work on the issue and they're just going to explode because they have decided that this is a part of them. Now that's a toxic. Now that's where we draw the line and say, listen, if you have a short temper, we understand that's a character problem. However, there are ways that you can go about it. You can communicate in this way for us to understand that we are crossing the line. So I think it's two ways. I think it's setting the boundary on you as a person and also setting a boundary around them who are having a toxic trait.
Honestly, I agree. There's something else that I wanted us to talk about.
You
know, many times I've had a statement like, I forgot. Someone is supposed to do something, and for some reason, they don't do it. And they think they can get away with, I forgot. Of course, we are human beings. I honestly understand. Personally, I forget so many things. But again, we need to understand, when is someone genuinely forgetting, or when are they using that as an excuse not to do what they are supposed to do? You know, like how you can probably give someone an instruction and then you get back and they've done nothing about it. And when you're trying to hold them accountable, like, I forgot. So do we just forget that you didn't do what you're supposed to do and we give you grace?
No, I mean, we're adults now, and I think I forgot is no longer an excuse for you to not do something. Well, there are points where you can see that really you can give someone grace for the fact that, let's say something was very last minute, or maybe some, like, by the time you gave this person this thing, you could see that they were overwhelmed with other things. But if something has been communicated within time, saying that I forgot, why are you communicating on the day of? At least let me know a day earlier. Oh, by the way, this thing that we had planned to do is not going to happen. But you wait for that day of for me to ask you, and then you say you forgot. I believe that's negligence.
I totally agree. And guys, we can't keep on running away from doing things and think we'll use the I forgot to get away. We need to hold ourselves accountable to a certain extent. And honestly, sometimes it could be, maybe you're covering laziness. If you're not going to do things and then you think you get away with, I forgot, I'm human, and etc. It's time for us to rethink whatever we do and hold ourselves accountable. You can't be the person that's always forgetting. Everybody else is remembering, but you are the person that's forgetting. So guys, we need to do better. We do. That's the other thing that I wanted us to discuss about. There's a thin line between honesty, like speaking something out of honesty. I'm being honest with ABCD.
Yeah.
And being insensitive. So you're speaking the truth. We agree.
Yeah.
It is the truth.
Yeah.
But we need to say it in a way that, as much as we are speaking the truth, we are not insensitive to whatever situation it is. Let's say somebody could have failed in something. They could have done something terrible. And that's the truth, because you saw them. You know they did ABCD. But then how are you communicating that in a way that you're not coming out as an insensitive person, as harsh, as you're so straight with whatever you're saying, but again you're not missing the truth. Again, to ensure that whatever we are saying, we are not crossing over to the toxicity, even when we are trying to communicate something that is right. I don't know what would be your line between, okay, I'm being honest about this and I'm talking about this, but I have to be sensitive. It's a sensitive issue. Where would you draw the line?
Well, personally, because I am a very big believer in honesty and open communication, I think it is very important that the truth come out. But if it is going to come out, there are two ways it can come out. Some people put out the truth in an insulting way, and then the people who put out the truth in a constructive way. So if you're going to put out the truth, are you going to put the truth with something that is going to help the person you're communicating with? Like, for example, if someone is always late, are you going to come and say, but you're always late, you're never on time, you never... Or are you going to say, by the way, I have noticed that you have a time management problem, and here are the ways that you can solve it, or how can we help your time management problem? Now that is constructive criticism as opposed to blaming and insulting.
I'm glad you say that, Duff, because people need to understand that as much as I'm saying the truth, how I say it matters. Give an example. Okay, you find your friend's partner somewhere with a strange person. I mean, you saw them. Maybe you saw them behaving in a way that was strange. And so, imagine you have to say that to your friend. Imagine it's something that you really have to say. How you say it matters.
Yes, that's true.
How you say it, it's not like you are gossiping, or you're not insinuating or trying to bring that person to a certain decision, but you must say it in a way that is sensitive.
Personally, and this is my unpopular opinion, I wouldn't say anything, because first of all, you don't know the kind of relationship this your friend's partner has with the person you've met them with. And also, let's say indeed it is a very, very, very uncompromising position. I truly believe in the fact that couples should be left as such. Why? Because eventually the truth finds its way to your friend. And also, I believe that if it is up to the relationship to have this challenge come up, it's not going to be your place, because you may say it and then they go and they converge as a couple. And then now they solve their issues, and then you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy. But okay, it's a very sticky situation, because another person will be like, but why didn't you tell them you're leaving your friend to be in this thing? But well, it depends. Is it a marriage or a relationship? If it's a relationship, you can tell your girlfriend, because maybe she can come out when it's still early. But a marriage, very sensitive. There's a lot at stake.
So guys, I don't know, do you want your friends to tell you?
I wouldn't want my friend to tell me. If I'm already married to him, don't tell me.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss.
Okay, there you have it. I don't know, would you want your friends to tell you? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know. The other thing that also people have really talked about it, and everyone has their side, but maybe I keep wondering if it's an issue of honesty, or if it's an issue of insecurity, and if it is something that you do at what point, really, this is like checking your partner's phone. We have people with different views on it. It's a thing of, should I check, should I not check? And thinking about it, I'm like, okay, maybe that before I even tell you what I think, should you check or should you not check, or why are you even checking in the first place?
Thank you.
What would be your view on that?
Personally, I do not, and I would never recommend that you check your partner's phone, because first of all, you won't understand the context of the things that you see. And on top of that, why are you trying to ruin your peace?
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter is that when you look for something, you will truly find it, because you may go thinking, I want to know if he's talking to other girls. He may be talking to other girls, and he may be very friendly with other girls, but he may not be cheating with these girls. Men are very funny, by the way. I think I've understood something about them is they like the conquest. So here is your man just trying to polish his flirting skills. And I'm not saying it's okay for your man to flirt with other women. It's not okay. But I'm saying, yes, I am saying he is in there polishing his flirting skills, yeah? And you are now there to witness it. Just to wrap everything up, what I'm trying to say is you will find what you're looking for, but why disturb your peace? That is why I personally do not check my man's phone, or do not agree with checking your man's phone. Well, that's why I don't agree with the whole checking phone.
Duff, I am 50-50 about that. And for me, my thoughts are the why. The why, and what are you going to do with that information after? Sometimes you could just want to know the kind of person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Not that you want to do anything about it, but you want to have an idea of the kind of person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Or the kind of things that you have to prepare for. So if you must check your partner's phone, what do you intend to do at the end? Are you looking for evidence for anything? Are you suspicious of something and you're trying to investigate? But again, if you're just going to look at the phone and then cry over whatever you're going to find there, and then still wait for another chance to again look, it's like you're always inviting tears to yourself. But for me, I think, I don't know, you may not. I really don't have a side. But if you must, it better add value. It had better add value. If it's just to cry and complain, then you don't have to check that phone, because you're not going to do anything about it anyway. It's just, it must add value. Imagine if you're this person that's always checking, and then you have to, who is this? What was this about? Where were you going? And you become nagging, and it could be any of the partners. If men check women's phones, so if you're going to be the nagging wife just because you're getting information from the phone. Now that kind of situation ceases to be healthy. It honestly ceases to be healthy and becomes a problem for your relationship. So even again, if you must, I think like Dove said, don't check that phone. But if you must, then it should not make you a toxic person. Make sure you can handle what is in there. If you can't, please leave that phone alone.
I agree.
So guys, I would like us to individually look into yourself and look at those traits. Guys, we have weaknesses and we are not going to be like perfect. But look at yourself and see what are those traits you have that have a potential to turn toxic, and work on them. Because we keep getting better day by day. We don't get perfect, but we work on ourselves and we get better. So I hope that today's episode can give you an insight on some of the things that we struggle with, and yet we can actually work on being better people. Daph, you could give us any thoughts that you have on people that are struggling. First of all, people want to be perfect. So every time maybe there's a flaw, they feel like they've let themselves down. How could I fail in this? How could I let maybe people down with this? And they just need to know that, first of all, we are not perfect. We just don't have to be terrible. We just don't have to be bad-mannered. We just don't have to be very extreme and cause pain to others. But we can actually live with our imperfections.
That has touched my soul so much, because that's what I've been dealing with this week. Actually, when you asked me what has been in my mind, it should have been one of the things I mentioned, because I have really been struggling with my perfectionism. And I believe that perfectionism is really actually coming from a level of insecurity. You think that if you don't show up as a perfect person, in quotes, because there's nothing like perfectionism, that you're going to be rejected, abandoned, that people are going to call you a fraud and things like that. And I have been trying my best, especially on my content creation. Every time I watch my videos that I put out there, the morning motivations, I'm like, but am I really this person? am I really the person who, like, who am I to inspire other people?
Yeah.
Who am I to say, like, to tell people, to give people advice? Yeah, I have this flaw. So the challenge you're talking about of trying to be perfect and not living with our flaws is something that I'm currently working on. And I think, like you said, it's so humbling for you to realize that you can coexist with your flaws, especially if you're not harming other people.
Yes.
Just using the fact that you are good to other people as the compass, then everything else you can just give yourself grace. So thank you for sharing that. It actually really touched me, because it's a message I needed to hear, and I need to hear over and over again. Yeah.
Thank you, Dav. I really appreciate that wisdom. And thank you for making time to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Follow her on her social media platforms. I'm going to link them down for you. And there's a lot of wisdom. I'm telling you, I am right here with her, but I can assure you there's a lot of wisdom. Please follow her. And I hope that your life is going to get better.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Until next time.
Bye.